Nabi Ali and Masharul Sahab Sarimuna Waqif in Nawar Ulhamin Bukamin Sayanjali Bes Maski Yala bin Abud Kya Muhammad Bebulais Ka Yali 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 Adikni Adikni Adikni
Salli ala Muhammad
एक सेकंड
Ali Mola Al-Haytari
Ya Ali Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad wa Muhammad wa ali Muhammad salawat salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad wa
एक बार और मुझे गोद में ले लो बाबा एक बार और मुझे गोद में ले लो बाबा जोड़कर नन्हे से हाथों को सकीना ने कहा अब ना प्यासी हूँ ना पानी की ज़रूरत है मुझे कोई हसरत नहीं बस इतनी सी हजत है मुझे देख लूँ आज मैं जी भर ये तुम्हारा चेहरा एक बार और मुझे गोद में ले लो बाबा सलवार
Muhammad wa ali Muhammad salawat salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad salawat Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad
A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajim Bismillahir rahmanir rahim La hawla wa la quwwata illa billahil aliyyil azim Hasbunallahu wa ni'mal wakeel wa ni'mal mawla wa ni'man nasir Bismillahir rahmanir rahim Alhamdulillahi rabbil alamin As-salatu was-salamu ala khatimun nabiyyin wa tabibi nafusina wa shafi'i zanubina Abil Qasim Muhammad As-salatu was-salamu ala Ahlebait Ahsan Tahirin al-Masumin al-Mazlumin allazina azhaballahu anhumur rijsa wa tahhirahum tathira Lanatullahi ala adaihim ajmain amma ba'd faqad qala Allahu fi Qur'anihil Hakim wa fi Furqanihil Majid Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim Inna ad-deena indallahil Islam Salawat I have the honor of reciting the same ayat as I did yesterday. It is the ayat number 19 of the third chapter of Quran. The name of the chapter is Surah Al Imran. The meaning of this ayat is that the religion with Allah is Islam. I have continued this topic today, and the reason I chose this topic is simply because that we have a lot of conspiracies going on against Islam. Unfortunately, some of those conspiracies have entered into our community. within our religion, and it is very important, very imperative that we make a very strong foundation of the children among us so that our future is saved. When I say that our future is saved, what I mean is that the future of our life after our death, that is also a future. And that future can only be protected if we have done some good deeds on this planet Earth in our this life. How to protect the religion? Of course, we can protect the religion simply by improving our knowledge through the logics, through the reasons, and those logic and reasons should have a very strong and firm belief. If we do not have a strong and firm belief, then those conspiracies will have, God forbid, will have some sort of a victory over us, which is the biggest loss ever we can face. So this is the reason why I chose this topic, to learn more about it, to revise. If you already know about this, then this will be a kind of a revision for all of us. And the best opportunity for us to revise these strong logics and reasons is by sitting in this Majlis of Imam Hussain alayhi salatu wassalam. And I always put emphasis on talking to the children. Children are the one who will definitely be our future, and they will definitely be the ones whom we can get some sort of a surety that our future is safe. Once again, please recite a loud salawat. We don't have much time, so I just want to go through quickly on my topic today. Today's topic is one of the difficult one, very dry. Please bear with me, and I guarantee you that tomorrow is not going to be as dry as it's probably going to be today. I am talking about the attributes of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, especially to the kids, and some of the attributes that are in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala or of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and some of the attributes that do not belong to Him. The reason I chose this is because there are a lot of concepts among ourselves and outside of the community. The religion, actually what it means is that what belief do we have? What kind of belief do we have? There are a lot of other religions, they also have some sort of beliefs. For example, Hindus, they have a belief that their God can be of anything. Their God can be of a stone, their God can be of an animal. They have all sort of gods. Then there are Christians, they also have a belief of a God. They have some sort of concept of Trinity, that Jesus is probably, Na'uz part of a God. And then there are other religions, they also have concepts of God. Islam also has a concept of God. And when we talk about the Islam, what we mean is that we have to have the clear, concise, precise concept of God, which is taught to us by the God Himself through the prophets and through Aima alayhi salatu wassalam. The topic I'm going to cover today is the topic which cannot be covered in like 15-20 minutes or so. This is a topic that requires few months of a time to understand and clear up the concept and have a logic. The other reason for this topic is that when we die, usually Satan also comes, and he tries to divert us from the concept of the religion, the concept of God, the Prophet and Imam and the day of resurrection and judgment, and divert us from the actual concept or the actual path to the one that he wants us to be. And if we do not have strong logics, and if we do not have the strong reasons and the basis of the religion, we might divert ourselves from the true path to the other one. Fortunately, we belong to the Shia religion, and in this religion, a good news is that our Mawla Imam Ali alayhi salatu wassalam also comes at the time of our death, and 100% of the time I would say that Shaitan gets defeated, because our Mawla is there and he is our helper, and he definitely, that is the time when we needed the most help. So he's there, he's going to help us, and inshallah we will not get affected by Shaitan at all. But again, it's a good idea to have the strong logic and basis on the religion. So how many of you, I'm talking to the children now, how many of you know the attributes of God, the characteristics of God, the qualities of God? Have you heard of it? Anybody? Like, he is, what kind of God do you think we have? Yes, go ahead. Yeah.
Merciful and kind.
Okay. Yes.
The only merciful.
Right. Yes. Of course, fair to everyone. Yes. Yes, you go ahead. What's that? Respectful. Okay. Okay. Anybody? Yeah. Very good. Very good. Yes. Very good. MashaAllah. Okay. Yes, go ahead.
God that is kinder, like.
Of course, of course. Okay, so I have a list here. I just want to quickly go through with this quick list. That this is one of the attributes, like you said, that God never dies. He never dies. He is always living. So when you say that He is always living, what is this always? How long is this always? How long has He been living? I mean, is there, how can you judge, what kind of a time frame we can put it like this always in? Yes? Forever. Okay, very good. Yes? Infinity. Very good, very good. Now, let me give you one more concept of infinity and forever. This time that we are living in, let's say, we started this program at 7 o'clock and we might finish it at 8 o'clock, so we have this 1 hour slot. If I tell you that the time does not exist, there is no time. Time does not exist. And this concept of having no time at all, non-existence of a time, is actually a concept of Islam. This is our concept. That when the time was not even created, our God was there. When the time even was not created. I'm just giving you some sort of an outline. I know it may be difficult, it may be some sort of, maybe a confusion or so, but the concept I want you to carry with you and try to learn more about it later on. If you want, I can probably send you some information for the kids so that they can read, you can always teach them later on. And I have some books for children as well, and which make clear these concepts of why the time never existed then and the God existed, and how come there was no place existed and the God existed. So where is God if there is no place, and when was God when there was no time? So these are the concepts that I want you to carry with you and think about it. Our God has a lot more attributes, a lot more qualities, and He is a lot more stronger than other concepts, than the other religions have. The reason why we have these concepts is simply because that these are the concepts, those should be with the God. These are the concepts of the God, not the ones that the God can be like us. It is not possible. If the God is like us, then He is definitely not a God. So one of this quality is that he is ever living, and he was living when the time was not even existed. So that is one of the concepts. Then we have another concept of perceiver, that he can sense, he can feel what you feel. Let's say that you're playing and you fall on the ground. You have a little bit of a pain. You come to your parents and say, hey, I have this much of a pain. Can you give me some medicines? Parents can give you medicine, or a doctor can give you medicine. But your parents and doctor would not be able to feel exactly how much pain you have. But you know, who knows how much pain do you have exactly? Yes. Very good. Yes. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, right? And then he has some representatives, and he has sent a lot of prophets, and he has sent a lot of imams to us, and those are the personalities who also know that how much pain we have if we fall on the ground. So this is another quality of God, that he can sense like what you are feeling, what you are thinking, what your intentions are, what you have in your mind. So that is another quality of God, which we cannot find in like common people like you and I probably do not have that quality. I can listen to you, I can say, fine, you may have a lot of pain, I can probably, give you some medicine, or your doctor can give you medicine, your parents can give you medicine, but we would not be able to feel exactly what you're feeling. But the God can, and Prophet can, and our Imams can. So that is another quality. Then he has quite a few other qualities. I think we don't have much time, right?
Yeah, we have like about 15 minutes.
15 minutes, okay. Okay. All right. Now let's talk about that he is all-knowing. Okay. Anybody who knows alphabets? All of you know alphabets? Okay. Do you know like what comes after B? Yes. Anybody? Yeah, you at the back. No, I mean you. Yes. What? C? Very good. Okay. What comes after Y? Yes. Z. Okay, very good. So you have a knowledge, right? You have a knowledge. What about God? I mean, God also has knowledge. So is it the same kind of knowledge like we do, or is it a different kind of a knowledge? Yes, go ahead. Different kind of knowledge? Okay. So when you know that Z comes after Y or C comes after B, you have learned it at the school, I guess, right? Or your parents might have taught you, right? But God is the one, the knowledge that he has, he never learned it from anywhere. He never needed to learn it from anywhere. So this is the difference between the knowledge that Allah has and that the knowledge that we have. We acquire the knowledge. We acquire the knowledge from somebody else or from other sources like books or from our friends or from our teachers or from our parents. But God, he does not acquire the knowledge from anybody else. He does not take lessons from anybody else. He knows all this by himself. It is a part and parcel of himself. All this knowledge is a part and parcel of himself. You cannot detach these qualities from God at all. If you detach these qualities from the God, then this will become two. Like the knowledge is something else and the God is someone else. You cannot do that. If you do that, then it will not be a part and parcel of God. I don't know if I'm clearing it up a little bit or not. It's a little bit difficult for kids. But the knowledge is actually a part and parcel of God. It's a part of a God. Okay? It is all one. This gives me of another quality, which is that he is not a compound. This is a quality that he does not have. The reason I brought this quality right now is simply because that when we talk about that the knowledge is a part and parcel of God and it is not separated from Him, it does not mean that He has become a compound of quite a few things, like He has a knowledge, He has a power, He is ever living. So all these qualities make God as, He is made of different components. No, this is all one. It's all one. Okay. Then there is another quality which is that He is mudrik. What He does is that He can see and hear everything. He is hazir and He is nazir. He is present everywhere. There was one incident that one of the atheists went to our 6th Imam and and he tried to make fun of Islam and said that, if your God is omnipresent, He's present everywhere, then He must have some eyes, If he's present here, He's looking at us, then He has eyes. If He has eyes, then He has face. If He has face, then He must be looking at one direction. If He is looking at one direction, then He is not being able to look at the other direction. So how can He be like, He knows everything. He is looking at every places. So our 6th Imam, mashallah, he was 11-year-old at that time. And he responded to him like, have you seen candle? The candle light? He said, yes. The candle has a light on the top of it. Which direction that light goes to? The atheist said, everywhere. The light goes everywhere around it. So Imam said, well, this is how our God is. He looks around everywhere at the same time at once. So these are the concepts of God. Then there are a lot of other qualities. I just want to quickly go through it so that we can go to the Masaib, inshallah. Some of the qualities that I would say are not present in God. For example, He does not have a body. He cannot be seen by us. Let me ask you one question, like, can God have a body? Can we see a God? Yes? No. Why not? Yes.
Because He is the most merciful and He can see everything at one time.
Okay. But if the God is all powerful, right? God can do anything He wants to do. Why can't He make a body of Himself and come to the earth like us? Yes.
Because if He showed anyone His body, they weren't like, they couldn't see it.
Okay, yes.
Even if He was to make a body and come to earth, and then somehow people will probably find out that He is God, and people who don't believe in God will tell they might even try killing Him, but so everyone will know that He's God, and everyone's gonna just...
Okay. Well, there is another concept behind it. Yeah, go ahead.
Maybe if some people even find out He's God, they might start worshiping Him on land.
Okay. Well, no, none of these are correct. The reason He cannot have a body, I'm going to give you the reason in just a moment, but let me ask you another question so that the things get clearer up in your mind. If I say 2 plus 2 is what, then how much is 2 plus 2? Yes? 4? It's 4, right? Okay. If I say 2 plus 2 is 5, will you accept it? Why not? Is wrong. Even if I force you that, hey, 2 plus 2 is 5, you must accept it. Will you accept it? No matter how much I am forceful to you, you will still not accept it, right? Okay. Why? Because it does not come into your mind. Your mind does not accept it. Your brain does not accept it. Your intelligence does not accept it. That 2 plus 2 can ever be 5. It can never be 5. It will always be 4. So the same way, God is at a higher status. The God is at a higher status. He cannot bring his status down to our level. 2 plus 2 will always be 4, it will never be 5, right? Because when I say 2 plus 2 is 5, that is wrong, and that is lowering your status from a higher to a lower level, right? Because you say, well, 2 plus 2 is 4, it is not 5, and if I say 5, that means I don't even know how to count. So I am counting wrong, which is wrong, and I know better. Since you know better, you will accept 2 plus 2 as 4, but not 5. So the same way the God is. God is at a higher status. He can do anything he wants to do it. But becoming and forming himself into a physical body state is like lowering his status. So he can never lower his status where he can become one of us. He can become like us, We have a limited body. Some of the kids are like this tall, and your parents are like much taller than you guys. You are very thin. Your parents are a little bit thicker than you guys. It's okay. So we have different body structures here. Okay. But you have a limited body, right? Limited body. If I say that can you stand up and touch the roof, you cannot stand and touch the roof, right? You're limited to it. So if God forms a body, he will become a limited personality, which is not good for a concept of a God. So that's why God cannot lower his status from being present everywhere in the universe and limiting himself to a small body like us. Make sense? So the same way, like your brain, your intelligence does not accept 2 plus 2 as 5, the same way God cannot lower his status to be like us. You cannot lower your status of intelligence. He cannot lower his status of his being. So he cannot lower his status like that. So that is another concept of God. Please say aloud salawat. Once again, like these are the difficult topics, but I just want to make sure that they have a clear understanding and concept of God. And most of the speakers do not talk on these topics, and I think that these are the topics need to be talked. A little bit difficult, a little bit dry, but we have to, of course. All right, so. I just want to tell you one little incident that again, like the same atheist, when he was talking to our 6th Imam and talked about like his face and looking at it in one direction, he also talked about like your creator God who does not sleep. If he does not sleep, what is he doing right now? And our 6th Imam said, well, he is insulting a grown-up atheist man by a 11-year-old kid. So our imams, our prophet, these are the ones who have taught us this religion, and I want you to read the books as much as you can. If you cannot get the books here, I can provide you through the soft copies, electronic copies, I can send you all those copies, you can read them. They are very good, very interesting, and they are written for children so that the children can understand these difficult concepts of Islam and make your foundation very strong, so strong that when you grow up, you become a very effective part of the community, a very effective part of the society, and you serve Islam when you grow up. It is very much needed. Okay? Please say aloud salawat. And once again, as if we are once again we are commemorating these Majalis of Imam Hussain alayhi salatu wassalam. Today is the day when we are commemorating the Shahada of a very young companion of Imam Hussain alayhi salam. Janabe Ali Asghar alayhi salatu wassalam. There was a time on the day of Ashura when Imam Hussain alayhi salatu wassalam was left alone, when all of his companions had passed away. And he was standing alone on the battlefield of Karbala, and he raised his voice and said if there is anyone who is available to help him. There was no one there who could help him. And he heard a cry from his camps. He turned back, came back to the camps, and found his sister Zainab salamullah alaiha. She was crying. And he said to her sister, why are you crying? I'm still alive. Why are you crying? The sister said that your son Ali Asghar, he was on a cradle and he fell from the cradle as if he wanted to help you, as if he wanted to respond to you for your asking for help. Imam Hussain alayhi salatu wasalam went to Janabi Ali Asghar alayhi salatu wasalam, and he said to Janabi Ali Asghar alayhi salatu wasalam that why are you crying? And he was crying. Then he came closer to Janabi Ali Asghar alayhi salatu wasalam and whispered something. Janabi Ali Asghar alayhi salatu wasalam stopped crying and started to smile. Bibi Sayyidah Zainab salamullah alaiha asked Imam Hussain that what did you say that Janabi Ali Asghar had stopped crying? That I want to help me, you have to come with me to the battlefield. And the moment I said that, Janabi Ali Asghar, who was just 6 months old, stopped crying and started to smile. Then Imam Hussain alayhi salam took Janabi Ali Asghar alayhi salam to the battlefield. And he covered Imam Janabi Ali Asghar alayhi salam with a piece of cloth. The army of the enemy, they thought that Imam Hussain is probably bringing a Quran with him so that he can ask for some sort of water or help from us. Imam Hussain went closer to the army and took the clothes off Imam Ali Asghar and raised him on his hands and said, you have a problem with me, you don't want to give me a water, but this is a 6-month-old child. He is thirsty, just give him the water. Don't give me anything. And if you feel that I might take some water from you, I will let this child lay on this hot ground of this battlefield and I will walk away. You can come and give him some water. Imam Hussain put Imam Ali Asghar on a very hot sand of Karbala and he went away. Nobody came and gave him water. Imam Hussain came back, then took the Imam Janabi Ali Asghar again and said, I just need some help from him. The army of enemy, some of the soldiers, they became kind of reluctant that okay, we should give him some water. The leader of that army, Umar Saad, Lanatullah alayh, when he saw that, he ordered Hurmala to raise the arrow and kill Janabi Ali Asghar alayhi so that all this finished quickly and we don't really have to give water to Ali Asghar alayhi. Hurmala, he pointed the arrow towards Janab Ali Asghar alayhi and he shot that arrow to Ali Asghar alayhi. The arrow came and it hit Ali Asghar and Ali Asghar got murdered right away. Blood came onto the hands of Janabi Imam Hussain alayhi salatu wassalam. Imam Hussain alayhi salatu wassalam did not feel to let the blood drop on the ground of Karbala, because the ground of the Karbala refused to accept that blood. The ground said that if you drop this blood onto me, I will never be able to grow anything from this land, from my land. Then Imam Hussain wanted to throw this blood onto the sky. Even the sky refused to accept this blood. The sky said that no, if you throw this blood onto me, I will never ever be able to drop a single drop of rain again in future on this land of Karbala. Imam Hussain had no choice but to put the blood on his face. He then came back to the camp. He did not even have the energy to show the 6-month-old dead body to the mother of Imam Janabi Ali Asghar alayhi salatu wassalam. He went to the camp and then he walked backward. Then he walked forward and then he walked backward. He did it 7 times. He did it 7 times. Eventually, finally, he went to the camp and showed the dead body to the mother and to the Bibi Sayyidah Zainab Salaamullah alayha. And then later on, he buried the body onto the ground. Inna lillahi wa inna ilayhi raji'un. Matam Hussain.
देख मेरे गाजी ऊंचा है अलम तेरा देख मेरे गाजी ऊंचा है अलम तेरा देख मेरे गाजी ऊंचा है अलम तेरा दिल सीने में जब तक उठता है अलम तेरा दिल सीने में जब तक है भूलेगा न गम तेरा देख मेरे गाजी ऊंचा है अलम तेरा देख मेरे गाजी ऊंचा है अलम तेरा ताबूत जब उठता
हुसैन या मोहम्मद वाले मोहम्मद सल्लल्लाहु सल्ली अला मोहम्मद। अभी नमाज का टाइम हो गया, ठीक है।